Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 6:08 Thursday, December 8th. 32 degrees, getting up to 48 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pup app at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined by Luisa Vroman. We are talking about Ladacin. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jeremy?
I am fantastic. So tell me about Ladacin. Laddacin's got... It's interesting because Ladacin's got a name, one of those names of an organization that you're not exactly sure what they do. So talk to me about that.
That's always a good question to me. People are like, is it some Indian word? Is it a medication? But no, it's actually an acronym, and it stands for Lifetime Assistance for Developmental and Challenging Individual Needs.
Wow.
It's a mouthful. That's why it's Ladacin. But we were formerly cerebral palsy of Monmouth and Ocean, and people usually nod their head and go, oh, okay, I know that. But we've been Ladacin for a while now, and it's a name that is more inclusive of all the different types of disabilities that we serve, not just cerebral palsy.
Okay. So what do you do for Ladacin?
I'm the Director of Development and Community Relations, so I get the word out. I help us with the fundraising. I help us with the grants, get to know about all the different programs that Ladacin has from birth through adult.
Okay.
Let me tell you about those, or
give me some examples.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Let's not tease it out too much.
Yeah, okay. So, we start with infants. So we serve infants in the homes, are 0 to 3, and we are doing about 130 sessions a day in the home. So people don't realize how large that program is. And then we have school programs, the Lehman School, the Schroth School. We have adult services, we have daycare, we have 9 residential facilities, we have supported employment. So we do have 14 locations. We say we're kind of the best kept secret that we have all these services. We serve about 3,500 families now in Monmouth and Ocean counties.
Wow. Okay. So you're the Director of Development, so that's a lot of funding to do.
Yes.
Right. So first of all, how did you get into the world of development, which for those who aren't as well versed on it is the new way of saying fundraising.
Yes.
But development is like, because development sounds so much less tacky than.
Well, it wasn't like I want to be a development person when I grow up.
So you're saying you're saying when you were a little girl, you weren't playing with your Barbie dolls, and Barbie wasn't going door to door going, "Hey, can you give me some
money?
Can you give me money so that I can support this cause?" No.
Well, sometimes I say that. How did I get to this point? I actually studied music therapy, and I knew I wanted to work with people with disabilities, and that's how I started Ladacin like 31 years ago.
31 years?
Yes,
so
that's what everybody else says.
You were like 9, right?
Of course,
yeah,
yes, that's
cool.
it. It's pretty hard to lie about your age when you say you've been anywhere 31 years.
My goodness.
But I did start there as a music therapist, and I worked in the school program with the kids. It was a wonderful job, but I've moved into different jobs throughout the years, including I became the director of the Ocean County programs. And when my predecessor retired, the director asked me to take over the development. And even though that wasn't specifically my background, I think just I knew the agency inside and out and worked in different locations. And I think they wanted someone that had a passion for the mission and that could just go out and tell our story. Because
that's really the most important thing as when you're in development and fundraising for anything is you have to believe in it. Right? It doesn't work out if you're not if you're not into it, right?
Right. I mean, you don't stay anywhere 31 years if you don't believe in it, and especially in the nonprofit world, you're not there for the money. So you're there because you're making a difference, and it's awesome. To people say what. How could you be anywhere 31 years? But it gets under your skin. You're making a difference. You see the kids and adults and their families, and you hear their stories, and you're like, you got to stay.
So was it hard at first to ask for money?
Absolutely. I've done a little bit of sales. I came kind of from a sales family, and my director knew that. So I was a little bit comfortable with that. But it is hard, and you kind of grow up saying you're not supposed to ask people for money. It's not polite. But you have to get into the mindset. It's not for you. You're asking. You're trying to help other people.
Oh, okay.
You can't think of it that way because we can't function without the dollars.
Right.
You would like to be able to say money is no issue and we can just do our jobs. But we have to raise the money. And it's also not just the money. It's about getting the word out there and funding and just letting people know what we do.
You know what? I think the breakthrough for me a long time ago when I first got into raising money as a board member, right? Because it's one thing when you're the professional and that's what you do. But as a board member for any organization, one of the primary functions of a board member is to raise money for the organization, right? Mm-hmm. So that's always a difficult thing for the average person to comprehend because they may not be a salesperson or they may not be, I do have a heavy sales background and did commission sales. And so, I could sell a parent for the right price, but what really kind of put me over the edge was when I had a professional trainer at one point say in some kind of a training, they said, you have to remember, you're not raising money for you. You're raising money for the donor. It's for them you're doing it. And I said, what do you mean it's for them? And they said, because everybody inherently feels good when they give money. You want to feel a sense of worth. You want to feel like you're helping a great cause. You want to feel like you're doing something for humanity. And so when you are fundraising, you're actually giving someone the opportunity to open their heart and their checkbook for a great organization. So, and Ladacin is one of those. So tell me a little bit about, because you said you have, how many programs do you have going on? How many facilities?
We have 14 facilities.
14 facilities. Yeah. And what does the group that you service what's their range as far as levels of disability?
Right. Well, we have the full gamut, which is, again, kind of precipitated the name change, but the kids in our schools, most of them generally have multiple physical disabilities. Some have cognitive delays. But in our adult program, we have the full gamut for people that need to be working on very basic skills to those who are working, going to college and getting a job.
Right.
So, and then in early intervention, it's a completely different animal. And that could just be, it could be someone that has a permanent physical disability, or it could be someone that just has a slight speech delay.
Right.
And they just need our help for a year and then they're good and they're going into public school. So it's just so individualized. It is the full range of services.
Right. Wow. It's amazing. And it's an organization, excuse me, it's an organization that I don't think a lot of people know that much about. And certainly a population that a lot of folks don't know about because, well, they're isolated in a lot of different ways, which is one of the things Ladacin works at kind of overcoming, right?
Right. I mean, we're always going out and we're always bringing groups in. And that's an important part of our mission as well, kind of changing attitudes and breaking down barriers for people with disabilities. They just want to be part of the community, treated like you would treat anybody else. And so we're out, we're horseback riding and swimming and shopping and even ice skating with adapted equipment. It's amazing. And we're always bringing school kids in and high schools in and just the attitude change. When you get them young, the attitude changes like for life. Like my kids are so comfortable around people with disabilities, they don't even see the difference.
Right. Right. Which is really the key because I think with that level of disability, it's not necessarily about it. One part is doing that what you can for quality of life for your population, but the other part is changing the rest of our population to understand that people with disabilities are people too. Right. And that they have something to offer and something to contribute. When we come back with Luisa Vroman from Ladacin, let's talk about how funding has changed. Because I think everybody understands how healthcare has changed in their individual pocketbooks, but it's also changing for a lot of our nonprofits, right? So absolutely. Luisa Vroman, Ladacin, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
Get more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin at our website, WOBMAM.com. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We're here with Luisa Vroman. We're talking about Ladacin. And I'd be lying if I said I had any way of actually breaking down that acronym because there's no way. So we were talking a little bit We were talking a little bit in the break about some of the really great kind of success stories, right? And some of the things. So, and I don't know that people equate success stories with the kind of work that Ladacin does, but why don't you give me some examples of some things that you're most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard because every day we see small successes and large successes from something that's more dramatic. Like, I was sitting with someone's grandmother the other day, and she was telling me how they didn't expect her grandson to walk or talk, and now he's reading and he's doing all these academic things. And sometimes, we were talking about how you just have to unlock what's inside when you meet one of these children. And it doesn't always have to be as dramatic as walking and talking. It can be, wow, now this child is communicating for the first time. We never thought this child was going to read. And a lot of times their doctors have told them otherwise, that they'll never do all these things. And they come to us. Often they can't communicate. And, we just have we have such a creative, amazing staff, and they'll find ways through technology, which is amazing now, or different avenues, to kind of unlock the potential. And suddenly, you're seeing everything that they can do. And I was telling you that I brought you a book from one of our adults, Denise, who came to us, and she's not verbal. She doesn't have almost any use of her hands. And just over the years, as technology has advanced, and working with her on everything from these old-fashioned switches years ago that we laugh about now, that she said she looked like Gonzo with the old head pointer when she was a kid, to now she communicates with her eyes. And she has an advanced device where she can just look and it will speak the words, and she can type, and there's mouse emulators you can use with your eyes. And she's written this whole book, and she published it. It was a goal for many years. It took her 10 years to get through Brookdale, but she did it. So we just support our kids and our clients in whatever they want to do. We have a girl at our Lehman School in Lakewood who wanted to be bar mitzvahed and is nonverbal and can't use her hands. So the staff helped her to get all of her speeches and everything on the computer, and for her to be able to use them with different switches. And our guys use almost any purposeful movement. It could be their knee, it could be their chin, to learn to kind of unlock their potential. And our amazing staff and therapists and everybody work with them to just help them do normal things that we want to do, and to advance and to move ahead.
It's funny you mentioned technology, and it really is amazing having gone to Ladacin and kind of seen what you guys are doing. It really is amazing the way we're using iPads and using all kinds of computers that are really a great way for folks who otherwise wouldn't have been able to communicate or identify, and they can use technology now to kind of help them really kind of participate in life in a whole different way, which is fantastic, right? And go ahead.
It could be the most simple technology. Like there was one gentleman who he wanted to be able to shave by himself because he couldn't use his hands well. Right. So, and we're able to fabricate things. We have rehab technicians on site, and just a mount for his chair that he could then use a switch with his elbow and lean into his shaver. And, it could be fixing a spoon so that a child can feed themselves with a larger handle. It could be as simple as that.
Can you work on something that can actually allow me to do cardio without actually
that would be awesome, because I want to do that
I mean,
too.
Listen, you guys are helping everybody else out.
I could just use my eyes and sit in a chair.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, that'd be great. All right, Luisa Vroman, Ladacin Network. When we come back, I want to talk a little about the funding and what's changed there. I want to give you your magic wand so you can use that. And then I want to give you the opportunity to let everybody know where they can learn more about Ladacin. That cool? All right, good. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We got some news for you. Then you could discuss amongst yourselves if De Oliveira or I sound worse. Which one? I'm going to go with me because she's definitely prettier too. All right, back with more after this.
The news is next. Live from the WOBM Newsroom, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 634 Thursday, December 8th, 32 degrees, getting up to 48 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We have Luisa Vroman in the house with us here from Ladacin. So we were talking about funding a little bit. So, everybody knows about Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. Anything changing on the horizon for your guys' funding?
Yes. Well, we have a variety of funding sources, and funding in general is always a challenge because it's not even just always funding for these special things like an adapted bike or computers that we were talking about, but even just for our day-to-day funding of our funding sources don't really keep up with even our costs and our programs. We have to supplement. So you were talking about the changes in funding. About almost half of our funding is state funding, and we haven't had an increase in state funding in like over 9 years. So your costs keep going up, just like any other business. And you're later like, well, my husband in business, like raise your costs. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. This is what we get from the state. But now everybody's kind of in a tizzy in the adult services world because the funding model is changing to what they call a fee-for-service model. So where you used to have a certain amount that you would get per person that you served, and you would transportation, therapy, whatever services you provided, now it's going to be like a billing, and you're going to bill per 15-minute increment, and then you're going to get the money afterwards, and if the client's not there, you can't bill. So, but you have to kind of gear up with a whole infrastructure for it, and how are you going to do this and maintain it and keep your records, which the nonprofit world is not always used to working that way.
Well, and not only that, I mean, for you guys especially, it's when you get paid only for the services that you perform, and you have a population, because not everybody's on site, not everybody lives there, not everybody is in a home.
Correct.
So when their attendance at times can be spotty because they have health issues.
Absolutely.
Right. And then you're staffed, and then all of a sudden you're overstaffed, and now all of a sudden we got a problem.
Right, because we're not like a clinic, let's say, where you bring in a therapist and you see someone for half an hour. We're not that model. We have salaried staff who are there all day.
Right.
So what are you going to say? Go home and not get paid because 10 people are out with the flu today? No, but you can't bill for those people.
Right.
So it's going to be a challenge in this, we're calling it the new world of how we're going to do this, and everybody's kind of waiting to see how they're going to make out, and you don't have like a budget that you can like hold fast to say, okay, this is what we're getting from the state, because it's going to vary, and I would think some smaller agencies might fold and not be able to maintain it because of cash flow and everything else that you have to think of in a business.
Absolutely. So carrying that along, we have some events and we have some things that we do, obviously, to fundraise externally. So what do you have coming up?
Our next event is our Ladacin Plunge. So much fun. We do this at Leggett's. It's the Saturday of Martin Luther King weekend, January 14th. So you have even the Monday to recover from the jumping in the ocean. And we have a big party, and we have food, and people have costumes, and they have a great time. So come on out to that. All these events are on our website. Ladacin.org. If you don't remember the dates, we have our largest fundraiser. Our gala comes up in March at the Sheraton, March 25th. That's a wonderful event. There's sponsorships. There's ad journal. There's auction. There's a great night. We're starting to get our runners together we have a team that goes in the New Jersey Marathon, Team Ladacin. We have a casino night in the fall. So there is always something for everybody going on. We have our appeal going out now, so we're always looking for volunteers, for donors, for donations of equipment. Whatever you can do to help us is always appreciated.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, great. It's that time where we give you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact. Luisa Vroman, Ladacin, what are you doing with the magic wand?
Well, honestly, and I look at it, if money was not an issue, if we were able to get enough, at least to support the cost of our programs, the way we want to give them, that way our families and our students and adults deserve, that would be my wish, that we didn't have to, I didn't have to be out there asking for money, and that nobody was denied a piece of equipment or a service or anything that they ever needed because money was no object. So that would be my wish, especially, in my role and in why I'm motivated to do what I do every day, because I don't want anybody to have to miss a critical service, or us to not to have a safe, decent facility that we can maintain, and transportation and all those other things I could go on about.
Absolutely. Luisa, give us the website, Facebook, the Instagram, I don't know, whatever you got, Twitter.
We're trying to get on social media. We do have a Facebook page,
okay.
But everything is Ladacin.org. So our main thing is our website, LADACIN.org, and we do have a Facebook page. Facebook is Ladacin, LADACIN. We only have 16 followers on Instagram, so don't worry. We're just starting to get on that one. But our website is our best way to get us, and you can always call us at 732-493-5900. Very nice.
Well, Luisa, you guys are doing great work. It's a great organization, a big organization. Folks, as you've said, kind of a not everybody knows that much about it, but there is a lot going on, and you guys do a great job. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Awesome. And have a great holiday. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up after this.